the number of Chinese families who own a home is about twice the number of Indian families who have access to a toilet. I'm William Overholt, just published a book called China's Crisis of Success. Crisis of success sounds like an oxymoron, but let me start with an analogy to an entrepreneur. The entrepreneur has created a wonderful widget, and he's good at marketing it, so the thing just takes off. And at some point, he gets to the degree of success where he needs to list on the stock exchange. And suddenly he needs to transform the organization. Needs professional accounting, professional human resources, a board of directors, a public rule book. And if that transformation is successful, the success can continue. Otherwise, it stagnates or flops. Now, China has been perhaps the greatest national success in world history. But when you get to a certain level in what was a third world country, you go from being a nation of farmers and road builders and sock manufacturers to this incredibly complex economy. And you can't manage that degree of economic complexity out of an office in Beijing. To deal with the economic complexity, they started working on a plan well before Xi Jinping took power. They worked with the World Bank and with American Nobel Prize winners to publish a book called China 2030. And then in what was called the Third Plenum, they turned this into a set of over 300 policies, with the axiomatic policy being market allocation of resources. And that addresses the issue of complexity because it's supposed to become automatic. And in becoming automatic, the market should make it much more efficient. Their problem has been twofold. One is that the politics of implementing the reforms has turned out to be much more difficult than expected. The second is that there is political complexity as well as economic complexity. And so far the decision is we're just going to centralize power so we can get the interest groups under control and smash through the opposition to economic reform. And in doing so, we're going to sit on the boiling kettle of political pressures. And that will work for a while, but not forever. The leadership has encountered problems of political implementation of the economic reform at several levels. At the first level, they had to take out these gigantic interest groups like Zhou Yongkang and the petroleum faction. Here you have a group that's managing trillions of dollars of energy, and they're arbitraging between an official price and a market price and raking off hundreds of billions. And this is a powerful interest group. This is not the NRA. This is like taking on Germany. And so the first 5 years, the first term, has been spent taking Zhou Yongkang out, taking top generals out, taking thousands of rather senior people. And that's created an atmosphere in Beijing. One executive, very top executive, came to visit me and he said, "Bill, the atmosphere in Beijing is you die or I die." That's not the impression you get from the picture, well-coiffed, buttoned up, Xi Jinping and all the bureaucrats at their Central Committee meeting all wearing the same suit and the same shirt and tie. things are not buttoned up. It's been a very tough 5 years. So he's shown that he can eliminate adversaries. Now he's got to show that he can actually get something done. One of the interesting things about doing careful comparative analysis is that you consistently come to the opposite conclusions from specialists.